Hello, welcome to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. For this upload, we will be reading 1 Samuel chapter 29. Now the Philistines gathered together all their armies to Aphek, and the Israelites pitched by a fountain which is in Jezreel. And the lords of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands, but David and his men passed on, and the reward with Achish. Then the princes of the Philistines, then said the princes of the Philistines, Hello, welcome to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. For this upload, we will be reading 1 Samuel chapter 29. Now, the Philistines gathered together all their armies to Aphek, and the Israelites pitched by a fountain which is in Jezreel. And the lords of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands, but David and his men passed on in the reward with Achish. Then said the princes of the Philistines, "What do these Hebrews here?" And Achish said unto the princes of the Philistines, Is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel, which hath been with me these days or these years? And I have found no fault in him since he fell unto me unto this day. And the princes of the Philistines were wroth with him. And the princes of the Philistines said unto him, Make this fellow return, that he may go again to his place which thou hast appointed him, and let him not go down with us to battle, lest in the battle he be an adversary to us. For wherewith should he reconcile himself unto his master? Should it not be with the heads of these men? Is not this David, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Saul slew his thousands, and David his 10,000s? Then Achish called David, and said unto him, Surely, as the Lord liveth, thou hast been upright, and thy going out and thy coming in with me in the host is good in my sight. For I have not found evil in thee since the day of thy coming unto me, unto this day. Nevertheless, the Lord's favor thee not. Wherefore now return, and go in peace, that thou displease not the lords of the Philistines. And David said unto Achish, But what have I done? And what hast thou found in thy servant so long as I have been with thee unto this day, that I may not go fight against the enemies of my lord the king? And Achish answered and said to David, I know that thou art good in my sight, as an angel of God. Notwithstanding, the princes of the Philistines have said, He shall not go up with us to the battle. Wherefore now rise up early in the morning with thy master's servants that are come with thee, and as soon as ye be up early in the morning and have light, depart. So David and his men rose up early to depart in the morning, to return into the land of the Philistines, and the Philistines went up to Jezreel. In the previous chapter, 1 Samuel 28, the Philistines set up camp near Saul, preparing to war with Israel. Saul is fearful. He reaches out to God for guidance. When God does not respond, Saul consults a sorceress who tells him that he and his sons will die the next day. Our current chapter, 1 Samuel 29, the Philistines are preparing to war with Israel. King Achish expects David to participate on behalf of the Philistines. The other Philistine leaders do not trust David to be loyal in war against his own people, and Achish asks David to leave. Summarizing 1 Samuel 29, David has been fleeing from King Saul. King Saul is David's father in law, David's employer, and David's landlord. After David defeats Goliath, Saul becomes very jealous because since Saul has been anointed to be king, he's been very cowardly. So that is an insecurity for him. David has been anointed king after Saul disobeys God. David has now accepted that King Saul is not going to stop killing him. So he's decided to go live in enemy territory amongst the Philistines. He has a good rapport with King Achish. And now that the Philistines are going to war with Israel, King Achish expects David to fight against the Israelites on his behalf. So that's where we're at verse 1. So the Philistines are camped out in their area, the Israelites are camped out in their area. And the other Philistine leaders are confronting Achish because they're like, why do you have this Hebrew here? He's supposed to be on the side of the Israelites. And Achish defends him, saying, he's been faithful since he's come to me. And the Philistine leaders say, no, he's an Israelite. Send him back to his people. What if he turns against us in battle and becomes our adversary? Is there any better way to make amends with his people than by helping them win by fighting us on our side? So, verse 5 is referring to the celebration after David defeated Goliath. The women of the city celebrated David and Saul, and it was actually this instance that made Saul angry. The women saying Saul has killed thousands, but David his 10,000s. So this is right after defeating Goliath. Goliath is a Philistine. He was a decorated war veteran. So David has killed this man with a rock. And so now he's on Goliath's people's territory, and the other leaders are suspicious. Achish confronts David and tells him, look, the other leaders don't want you to fight with us. David says, what have I done? Haven't I been faithful? Achish says, yes, you have been faithful, but the other guys don't want you fighting with us. So when it's light, take your men and leave. So David and his men headed back into the land of the Philistines because that is where he is currently living right now. Oops. That is all we have for 1 Samuel chapter 29. Thank you for clicking on the video.